Welcome to Cyberholic tutorial 1.1.10a alpha. I know that this versioning is a little bit strange, but I just try to keep an overview for myself. And as I'm not starting a new page or whatever, a new subpage, but continuing the one that we finished with the last video, I just gave it the alpha and then beta and go on was like that, was the alphabet. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to do some fine tuning. As you can see here I think I would like to have some space in here, though I'm going to put in here an input field to filter later on the items. But I also want already to have some kind of table of content, or let's call it like an overview of the versioning, so that you go to the page and know what the hell did Croft Carlos did there with the versioning. What is the idea behind that? So that's what we are going to do today. And maybe I'm going to even use it as a segment. So you're going to learn another Semantic-UI or Fomantic-UI component. So for this, let's go directly to our code. And the situation in the last video was that I was too lazy, or I am too lazy to, copy manually every item for this list for my tutorials. So the idea is to create in PHP a so-called array, multi-dimensional array, or you can choose a JSON object, whatever you want. And in this way, we only will need to loop, just a second, like this. We will just need to loop this line 10 to 15 for just let me get a projector so that I can see it. So, okay, like this. So we only will, hey, where is it? Here. So that we will loop from line 10 to 15. And whenever you want to change the layout, you don't have to manually go through dozens and dozens of your items, but simply just need to change one layout. And I'm even going one step further, and I will make several lists depending on the main version number. But step by step. First of all, I would like to add some space between those. And for this, I do this. Div class UI hidden divider. So there's a small space among those. I do a second one because in the middle of this, before we are starting with the list, I want to do the versioning. And this means I'm opening up a new list. Oh, Jesus. UI list. And in here, I'm going to put the items. I will keep them as the key. I want to keep this list as simple as possible. I really just, it's going to be just a listing of the versioning. So div class item. And shall I write it per line? I think yes. This really depends if I'm going to make a sub. Yeah, I will keep it. No, I'm going to do it a little bit more beautiful. Like this. Version, I'm going to write it in bold. 1.x.x means it's about tutorial about. Hey, where's my text? Hey, Raspberry Pi. Tutorial about website creation. Let's call it this way. Website creation with Winter CMS. Okay. Save this. And then right below this, inside this item, I'm creating a new list so that I will have like an indent. Div class What I can't remember, but I think I must, I can't remember if I can just ignore the UI, but we will see it in a second. UI list. So in here, I'm writing that everything related to 1.1.x. Oops, sorry, I want this in bold. Is going to be Cyberholic, yes, right. Cyberholic, yes. But for better understanding, I'm going to write related to Cyberholic, yes. Okay, let's see how this looks like. Save it. Refresh, and while refresh, I will zoom out with OBS so that you can see the whole page. It's still loading. My task manager is quicker than your faster. Here it is. Okay. Tutorial about website creation with Winter CMS, and 1.1x is related to Cyberholic ES. I'm already going to put beneath this one point related to Move Urban. Move Urban is another project of mine that is also made with October CMS. And Move Urban is, I'm the vice president of an association for urban culture and sports. And yeah, guess what? I'm going to update that page also. And another page that I'm going to use for this type of tutorials will be found with the versioning 1.3. 1.3 is going to be Inoxed. Inoxed is like a skateboard, inline skate, BMX hotspot map in combination with Flickr photos. But this is going in Inoxed. I'll just keep it like that because I think, yeah, I'm going to change them. I don't know, the domain. My phone. Just ignore it. Okay, so let's see how all of this looks like right now. You can see that there are I'm going to make this overview of the versioning. It's going to be, this is too big. I don't like it. It's technically a good solution, but if I add another class to the UI list, I can make UI small list. There are several sizes available, like 8 or 9. And below small are also tiny and mini. And you can really, by simply adding these classes, or one of this class, then you can change, you're going to see it in a second. I'm going to change all the size of this list. Interestingly, I don't know if even the sub list that I created is going to take this. It doesn't. It does. Perfect. So you really just need to have the, let's call it the parent list, and it's then going to inherit all the upcoming lists below it. Okay. So this is nice like that, but I would like to have it a little bit more out, you know, like a little bit more. I mean, I'm going to put in here a list, an input field. I don't like it all. It's not perfect. So this is certainly I'm going to change this sooner or later because the whole thing is growing, and yeah. So, okay, let's now start with our real problem with this page, and that was the creation of the list items. So we are here now again. Just let me zoom in. Where is it? Winter CMS IDE here. No, not mobile. Here it is. currently, if you check line 23, there starts our list containing all the tutorials. The problem that I said is that from line 24 to line 29 now, you would have to copy and paste them, and if there for whatever reason you want to change this layout someday, then you will have to do it manually again. And if you have hundreds of items, then this can be very nasty. So what we are going to do now is go to the code section of this page and create an object, an array, multidimensional array. And in this array, we are going to pass the content of our tutorials. I'm just going to do it with 2 or 3 examples so that you can see it, and then I'm going to manually add all the rest. So the first thing is, I already mentioned it in the last video, is called the function. And Winter CMS comes with several, how do you call it, lifecycle functions? Let's call it that way. The lifecycle of a page is like you have something called like on beginning, on start, on init, on end, or something like that. I can't remember it right now. For example, you could say, okay, before even doing anything with the page, then get, for example, the data from a database or whatever. So before even showing something on the page, this is first done. And then afterwards comes the whole HTML stuff. You can check on the documentation of the Winter CMS documentation. There are the life cycles. Simply hit Control K and search for on start or on end, and then you will get there. And yeah. So what we are currently doing here right now is tell them, hey, before you pop up the page, then do something. Doing something in our case means that we are creating an array, and I'm going to call this array tutorials. Array tutorials equals to another array. It's an array in an array. This is going to be, you really have to take a deep breath because we are doing several arrays inside each other. So we have this array, and in this array, just let me check why is there this curly bracket? From function on start. Okay, sorry. I was just, oh, what's going on here? What happened? Hey, Raspberry Pi. Something strange happened. Okay, in this array, I'm going to put the first array with a name. Just let me see why he shows there. Ah, okay, because I did not close the PHP. The variable, sorry. So in PHP. So in this array, we are going to define, I would say the tutorial category. I'm going to call this the Cyberholic tutorials. So Cyberholic. And in this is another array. Oh, my Raspberry Pi, my CPU is at approximately 100%. Work it, baby. Yeah, this is it. And now I'm going to put another array in here. Sorry, array. And this is going to be like that. This array will contain a title. And this title is going to be like Cyberholic. Oh, let's call it, just to make it Tut1 for tutorial 1. This title also contains a subtitle. What was my idea that I had with the, I had the title and then I had the subtitle would be like Winter CMS, so that you can see, okay, this is like Winter CMS. Yeah, what tool is, I think it was like this. Or was it description? Description, yeah, this was it, sorry. Description. I think I can't remember what I said in the last video. I had like an idea for all of this, but I forgot it, and I don't want to look at it again. What's wrong here? Why do I get yeah. If you declare something in an array, then do it correct. Okay, description, how to create a block or whatever. Just as an example. We could have also a date or whatever, but I'm not going to do it just for the sake of the length of this video. What we are going to do is I copy this line, I duplicate it so I don't have to write everything again, and put in here link and the YouTube code. Where is it? Where is it? Something like this is a fake code just to see how it would look like. Okay. So what do we have? We have an array called array tutorials. In this array tutorials, we define an array with the I don't know how you call it, that can be recognized as Cyberholic. You can call this whatever you want. And inside Cyberholic, we already have one video. And we want another video. So this is just as an example. So let me duplicate this one. So we have now 2 tutorials or 2 videos in the tutorials of Cyberholic. And now I'm going to copy all of this. There needs to be a comma here, but I'm going to copy this and put it beneath again. And here where I get the arrow, I have to put a comma. And this is not going to be Cyberholic. This is going to be, what did I have? Move urban. Move urban. And move urban only has like one video. So this is it. 2 to 1. Okay. I hope that you can catch up like this. It's like I have an array. I have defined an array. Let's say this would be like shelves, something like that. You have a shelf called array tutorials or cupboard or something like that. And you open it up, and in there are 2 cupboards. One is called Cyberholic. The other one is called Move Urban. And then inside Cyberholic are 2 new cupboards or 2 new boxes. Defining these tutorials, and while on the other and the Move Urban box is only one video. Okay, so this should be this, but now we have to show it. We have to tell Twig or tell Winter CMS, please export the array so that, or export this result so that you can show what it means. And you do this by defining a variable, saying this on this page, meaning like this, wait, sorry, I forgot. Before defining this array, this, I will call it again, even if it's the same, let's call it result, not the same. I would say, let's take the same names, because one thing is the variable, the other thing is the variable of Twig, and the other thing is the variable of the PHP. Res tutorials. You know what? I'm going to do it different. I'm going to make it like this. Res Cyberholic. So I can separate them. So this means I want to show only the videos containing from Cyberholic. And for this is array tutorials. Hey, why don't you show me array tutorials? I'm wondering right now why my autocomplete does not work, but it's okay. And it's going to be from the category Cyberholic. I would like now to scribble on the screen so that you can understand it, but I think it's not so difficult. What I do in line 25 is I tell him, hey, define a new variable for Twig called res Cyberholic. I'm going to copy this into my clipboard. And this variable contains from the array tutorials array everything that can be found inside Cyberholic, meaning these both. So with this said, I'm going back to markup, to my website, and I'm now going to do it wrong just so that you can see it. Let me just keep this item in here. And all you need to do is use as ordinary Twig variable what you define at the end of the script. Meaning, at the end of the script, at line 25, where I say this, on this page, res Cyberholic, the variable is this and that, you simply say print this variable. This is not going to work like that. I'm going to show it to you because, as you remember, where can I zoom out? Where is the whole page? Here is the whole page. Hey, why doesn't this work? Okay. If you remember, we just created an array. And if you simply just say Twig, hey, show this variable, then he's going, or here in this case, you get an exception from Winter CMS saying, hey, you are trying to show an array as string. So you have to create, that's not possible. So what we must do now is zoom back again. And here I do the following. A so-called for loop that looks like this. Curly brackets, %for, I will call it item in the variable. For every item inside the variable res Cyberholic, do something. Let me just close this and duplicate the line and make an N4. No, sorry. Is it N4 or 4N? Nee, N4. I'm a little bit... Jesus. I think... Nee, N4? 4N? N4. It's getting late. So, for item in res Cyberholic. Why doesn't... here it is. Okay, perfect. What I tell him is loop... this blinking, this... But I can't argue. It's a Raspberry Pi with 4 GB of RAM. So what I tell him is, for item in res Cyberholic, do the following. Means, for example, if I simply go to item.x, then nothing is going to happen because I have to substitute the x with the keys that I have defined, the keys that I have set, title, description, and link. So I can go in here and say, hey, do me the favor and repeat every description. Let's see if this works. It's going to not look perfect because simply because of the... let me zoom out again, sorry. It's not going to look good because if you remember, we are inside the list constructor or component of Fomantic, and it's going just to enter it in here. How to create a blog, Winter CMS, how to create a blog, Winter CMS. So here are both descriptions. So now I know it works. So I can go one step further and do the following. Where is it? Where's my code? Here is my code. I take all this from line 24 down to line 29. I cut it into my clipboard, paste it in there, and do one tap indent so it looks beautiful. I beautify it, and instead of ch tutorial version 1.1.1.1, this text that is in here, I'm going to exchange that with item.title, curly brackets closing, and the same I'm going to do in here with curly brackets, item.description, curly brackets. Let me just close some, I'm going to close some windows because That could be the reason why my Raspberry Pi goes crazy, goes wild currently. So, okay, this is it. Let's refresh the website. Zoom out first. And there it is. Now we have a listing showing the normal header and the description. Coming from the things that I have defined inside the code section of this this partial of this this, let's call it sub page. Sorry, not partial. It's a page, not partial. It's a page. So instead of adding things manually, what you can really do is just add manually the content in here in the code section of the website, and then in the markup do a for loop, so that if for whatever reason, for example, if you want to add, maybe I would like to add someday the YouTube image, the thumbnail image in here, then I don't have to change it for 20, 40 or 150 or more items, but simply just one time. And he's going to replace it with the text. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to finish this video and include all my video channels, the videos, tutorials for my channel in here, and then we can go on with the website creation.